I sat quietly at my aunt's will reading until the lawyer said, "She left everything to you." Then he added, "But there's a condition." Henry Taylor adjusted the papers in front of him and continued like this was routine. The estate of Hazel Wilson, including her residence in Boise, all financial accounts and associated assets, is to be transferred solely to Ava Wilson. Liam Wilson let out a breath that sounded more like a scoff. "No, that's not right. Hazel wouldn't do that." I didn't look at him. If I did, I knew I'd lose whatever composure I still had. Emma leaned forward, her voice tight. "So what, she just skipped all of us? That makes zero sense." Henry didn't react. "This is the final version of the will, signed and witnessed." Noah finally spoke, calm but sharp. "Then read the condition." There it was again. Condition. Henry nodded once, then reached for a separate envelope. "Ms. Wilson left written instructions to be read and acknowledged by Ava before the estate can be finalized." He slid the envelope across the table. My name was written on it. Not printed. Not typed. Written. I picked it up, already knowing I wouldn't like what was inside. Hazel didn't do anything halfway. If she left me everything, there was a reason. And if there was a reason, there was a cost. I opened the envelope and unfolded the paper slowly, buying time I didn't really have. The room stayed quiet. Too quiet. The kind of silence where everyone is pretending not to stare. I read it once. Then again, slower. "Ava, you're the only one who showed up without asking for anything. I needed to know at least one person saw me clearly. I'm leaving everything to you, but you don't get to keep it unless you do one thing. Tell them the truth. All of it. They already know what they did. They just think no one else does. Don't let them walk away pretending. If you say it out loud, everything is yours. If you don't, the estate gets tied up and redistributed through legal review. I'm trusting you to finish what I couldn't. Hazel." I lowered the paper but didn't look up right away. So that was it. Not a gift. Not really. A test. Noah broke the silence first. "Well," Emma crossed her arms. "Yeah, what does it say?" Liam didn't speak. But I could feel it. The shift in him. Like he already knew this wasn't going to go the way he wanted. I folded the letter carefully and placed it on the table. "She left everything to me," I said. Emma let out a dry laugh. "We heard that part." I met her eyes for the first time. "There's a condition." Noah leaned forward slightly. "Which is?" I exhaled slowly. I could walk away. I knew that. I could say I didn't understand the letter, tell Henry the first needed time, drag this out in court for months. Maybe years. But Hazel had already thought of that. She always did. If I didn't say it, everything would get stuck. No one would get anything clean. And somehow, that felt worse. "She wants me to tell the truth," I said. Emma frowned. "About what?" I didn't answer immediately. Because now it was real. Once I said it, there was no taking it back. No softening it. No pretending we were still a normal family after this. Henry stayed quiet. Watching. Noah didn't move. Just waited. Liam finally spoke, his voice low. "Ava, whatever this is, you don't have to." "Yes," I said, cutting him off before I could lose the nerve. "I do." The room went still. I looked at Liam first. I didn't plan that. It just happened. But the second I did, his expression changed. He knew. "She knew about the second mortgage," I said. Emma blinked. "What?" I didn't look away from Liam. 3 years ago. "You took a loan against her house." "No," Emma said immediately, shaking her head. "That's not." "You told her it was temporary," I continued. "For work. You said you'd pay it back." Liam's jaw tightened. He didn't speak. "She's been covering the interest ever since," I said. "You never paid it off." Silence. Heavy. Immediate. Emma turned to him. "Dad?" He still didn't answer. That was enough. I swallowed and shifted my gaze to Emma. "And she knew about you too." Emma's face hardened. "About what?" "The payments," I said. "For taking care of her." Her expression flickered. Just for a second. Then she shook her head. "I was taking care of her." "No," I said. "You told everyone you quit your job. But you didn't. You worked part-time and still took money from her." "That's not true." "She kept records," I said. "Dates. Transfers. Notes about when you actually showed up." Emma's voice rose. "You don't know what you're talking about." She said she was still cooking, cleaning, managing everything herself. Emma stopped talking. The room shifted again. This time sharper. Noah let out a quiet breath through his nose. "So this is what we're doing now." I looked at him last. "And she knew about you too." He didn't react. Not right away. "About what?" he said. "The email," I said. "To the lawyer." That got him. Just a slight movement. But enough. "You asked how to challenge her mental capacity," I continued. "You wanted to contest the will before she even passed." He started, then stopped. "She saw it," I said. "You left your laptop open when you visited." Noah leaned back slowly, like he was recalculating everything. "That doesn't mean anything," he said. "It means you were planning to fight her for money she hadn't even left yet," I said. No one spoke after that. There wasn't anything left to say. The room felt smaller. Tighter. Like all the air had been used up. Henry finally broke the silence. With the condition fulfilled, the estate will proceed as outlined. No one argued. Not because they agreed. Because they couldn't. Emma stood up first, pushing her chair back harder than she needed to. I can't believe you'd do this. I almost laughed, but it came out empty. Me? Yes, she said. You didn't have to say any of that. Noah shook his head slowly. She's right. I looked at him. It was already true. That's not the point, he said. You didn't have to make it public. That stayed with me. Because he wasn't wrong. I didn't have to say it. But I did. And now there was no going back. I folded Hazel's letter again and slipped it into my bag. And for the first time since the reading started, I realized something clearly. I didn't just inherit her house. I inherited everything she left behind. Including what she didn't say out loud. No one spoke to me after that. Not in the hallway. Not in the parking lot. Not even a forced, polite goodbye. It was like the moment I walked out of Henry Taylor's office, I stopped being part of them. I stood outside for a second, just holding my bag, feeling the weight of the letter inside it. Boise air was cold that afternoon, sharper than I expected. Or maybe it just felt that way. I heard the door behind me open. Footsteps. Liam. Ava, he said. I didn't turn right away. I already knew how this would go. You didn't have to do that, he added. I faced him slowly. She made it a condition. That doesn't mean you had to say everything like that. In front of everyone. I held his gaze. Was any of it wrong? He didn't answer. His jaw tightened, then relaxed, then tightened again. Like he was trying to find something to say that didn't make him look worse. That was between me and Hazel, he said finally. No, I said. It wasn't. Not if it was her house. His eyes flicked away for a second. That was all I needed. You put her at risk, I added. If something had gone wrong, if she couldn't cover it, she could have lost everything. I was going to fix it, he said quickly. When? I asked. Because it's been 3 years. He didn't answer that either. The silence stretched, then snapped. Emma came out next, her heels hitting the pavement too fast, too hard. She stopped a few feet away from us, arms crossed, eyes locked on me. You're unbelievable, she said. I didn't react. You made it sound like I was stealing from her. I let that sit for a second. Were you? I asked. Her face flushed instantly. No. I was helping her. You told everyone you quit your job. I did. No, you didn't, I said. You cut your hours. There's a difference. That doesn't matter. It does when you're getting paid like you're there full-time. Emma took a step closer. You don't know what it was like. You weren't here every day. No, I said. But she was. That hit. She looked away for a second, then back at me angrier. She asked me to help, Emma said. She wanted me around. And you were, I said. Just not as much as you said you were. Emma laughed, sharp and bitter. Wow. So what, you're the hero now? I didn't answer. Because that wasn't what this was. Noah stepped out last, closing the distance between us like he hadn't just been exposed 10 minutes ago. You realize none of this actually proves anything, right? He said. I looked at him. It proves enough. For what? For you to walk away with everything, he asked. I didn't decide that, I said. She did. He nodded slowly, like he was already building an argument in his head. You think this is over? I didn't respond. Because it's not, he continued. There are ways to challenge this. Conditions like that? They don't always hold up. That's your job, right? I said. Figuring out how to move money around? His eyes narrowed slightly. Careful. For what? I asked. You already tried to go after her before she was even gone. That email doesn't mean anything, he said. It means you were planning something, I replied. He smiled, but there was nothing behind it. Everyone plans something. That told me everything I needed to know. Liam stepped in again, trying to control the situation. This doesn't need to turn into a bigger problem. It already is, Emma said. She looked at me again, softer this time, but not in a good way. Do you even understand what you just did? Yes, I said. Do you? She pushed. Because you didn't just repeat something from a letter. You chose to say it. That landed harder than I expected. Because she was right. I chose it. I could have walked out. I could have let Henry handle it, let the legal side drag everything out. Maybe no one would have gotten anything clean, but at least the truth wouldn't have been public. But Hazel didn't want quiet. She wanted it said. Out loud. In front of them. Noah exhaled and stepped back. This isn't over. Emma shook her head and turned away. I'm done. Liam didn't say anything else. He just looked at me for a long second, like he wanted to say something different, something better. Then he didn't. They left. All of them. And just like that, I was standing alone in a parking lot in Boise with a bag full of paperwork and a house I hadn't even stepped into yet. I didn't go back to Denver that night. I don't even remember deciding it. I just found myself driving to Hazel's place like my body already knew that's where I was supposed to go. The house looked exactly the same. Same pale siding. Same small front yard she never really cared about. The porch light was still on, like she'd just stepped out and forgot to turn it off. I sat in the car for a minute, engine off, just staring at it. It didn't feel like mine. Not yet. I walked up slowly and unlocked the door. The smell hit first. Lavender. Old books. Something faintly sweet underneath it. It was her. Everything was still exactly where she left it. Her shoes by the door. Her reading glasses on the side table. A mug in the sink that hadn't been washed. I stepped inside and closed the door behind me. And for the first time all day, it got quiet. Not the heavy kind of silence from the office. This was different. Still. Almost calm. I set my bag down on the kitchen counter and pulled out the letter again. I read it one more time. Tell them the truth. All of it. I leaned against the counter, staring at those words. She knew exactly what that would do. She knew how they would react. She knew what it would cost me. And she still made it the only way forward. I looked around the kitchen, at the little details she kept the same for years, and something finally settled in. This wasn't just about the money. It wasn't even really about the house. She didn't trust them. And she needed someone who wouldn't stay quiet, even if it meant burning everything else down. I folded the letter carefully and set it back in my bag. Then I looked around again. And this time, it felt a little more real. Not like I owned it, but like I was the only one left in it. The first night in Hazel's house didn't feel like winning. It felt like staying somewhere I wasn't supposed to be. I didn't unpack. I didn't turn on the TV. I just sat at the kitchen table with that letter in front of me, reading the same lines over and over like they were going to change. They didn't. Tell them the truth. All of it. I kept thinking about the way Noah said, "This isn't over." He wasn't wrong. By the next morning, my phone proved it. Missed calls. Notifications. Messages I didn't open right away because I already knew the tone. When I finally checked, it was exactly what I expected. Emma first. You had no right to say that in front of everyone. Then Liam. We need to talk. Privately. This got out of hand. And Noah. We're reviewing the will. Don't do anything with the property yet. I stared at that last one longer than I should have. Don't do anything. Like I needed his permission. I didn't reply to any of them. Instead, I made coffee in Hazel's kitchen using the same chipped mug she always used, like if I kept things the same, it would feel less final. It didn't. By mid-morning, there was a knock on the door. I already knew who it was. Liam. I opened it just enough to see him clearly, but not enough to invite him in. We need to talk, he said again. You already said that. This isn't something we handle over texts. I hesitated, then stepped back and let him in. He walked through the house slowly, looking around like he hadn't been there in a while. Or maybe like he was seeing it differently now. This place, he muttered. It shouldn't have gone like this. I didn't respond. He turned to face me. Ava, listen. That thing you said yesterday about the mortgage. It wasn't a thing, I said. It was the truth. You didn't have to say it like that. There wasn't another way to say it. There's always another way, he said. You could have come to me first. I let out a breath. Would that have changed anything? He didn't answer. That's what I thought, I said. He rubbed his face, frustrated. You made me look like I was taking advantage of her. You were, I said. His expression hardened. I was trying to keep my business alive. With her house as collateral, I said. Without telling anyone. She agreed to it. She trusted you, I corrected. That shut him up. For a second. Then he tried again. I was going to fix it. 3 years, Liam. I know, he snapped. Things didn't go the way I planned. They never do, I said. The room went quiet again. Then he shifted, like he was changing strategies. Look, he said. Whatever happened yesterday, we can still fix this. I frowned. Fix what? This, he gestured around the house. The situation. The will. There's nothing to fix, I said. It's done. It doesn't have to be, he said. You could split it. Make things fair like she always wanted. I stared at him. That's what you think she wanted? I asked. He hesitated. That's what she always said. No, I said. That's what she said out loud. His eyes narrowed slightly. What's that supposed to mean? It means she knew exactly what she was doing, I said. And she didn't trust any of you to be honest about it. His jaw tightened again. So you're just going to take everything? I didn't answer right away. Because that was the part one hadn't fully decided yet. But I also wasn't going to let him steer this. I'm going to follow what she set up, I said finally. That's convenient, he muttered. Before I could respond, another knock hit the door. Sharper this time. Emma didn't wait to be invited in. She pushed the door open and stepped inside like she still had a claim to the place. So this is what we're doing, she said, looking between us. Secret meetings now? It's not a secret, I said. You just weren't here yet. She ignored me and walked further in, her eyes scanning the room. You already moved in? I stayed the night. Wow, she said, shaking her head. That was fast. What did you expect me to do? I asked. Leave it empty? She crossed her arms. I expected you to have some kind of respect. I almost laughed. Respect? For family, she said. That's interesting, I replied. Coming from you. Her eyes flashed. Don't start that again. I didn't start it, I said. Hazel did. Emma took a step closer. You're twisting this. You made it sound like I was using her. You were getting paid for work you weren't doing. I was there. Not like you said you were. That doesn't mean I didn't care about her. I didn't say you didn't care, I said. I said you weren't honest. That hit harder than anything else. She went quiet for a second, then shook her head. You don't get it. Then explain it. I needed that money, she said. I was struggling. So was she, I said. She just didn't tell anyone. Emma's expression shifted, just for a moment. Then she pushed it down. You think you're better than us now? No, I said. I think she saw something we didn't. Yeah, Emma said. She saw someone she could control. That caught me off guard. What? She knew you'd do whatever she asked, Emma continued. Even if it meant tearing everyone apart. I didn't respond immediately, because that thought had already crossed my mind. More than once. Liam stepped in again. This isn't helping. No, Emma said. What's not helping is her acting like she's the only one who cared. I never said that. You didn't have to, she shot back. The tension in the room built again, fast and tight. And then Noah walked in. He didn't knock this time. He just opened the door and stepped inside like he'd already decided he belonged there. We need to be clear about something, he said, looking directly at me. I felt it immediately. This wasn't about emotions anymore. This was about control. What? I asked. The estate, he said. You can't start making decisions yet. I'm not asking for permission, I said. You don't have to ask, he replied. But you should understand the position you're in. I crossed my arms. Which is, you fulfilled the condition, he said. That part is done. But that doesn't make everything untouchable. There it was. I knew you'd say that, I said. Of course you did, he replied. Because it's true. I held his gaze. So, what are you planning? He smiled slightly. I'm planning to make sure this gets reviewed properly. Meaning? Meaning, he said, you might not end up with everything after all. The room went quiet again. But this time, it felt different. He wasn't reacting anymore. He was moving. And for the first time since the will reading, I realized something clearly. This wasn't over. Not even close. They didn't leave after that. That was the part one didn't expect. I thought Noah would make his threat, Emma would throw another comment, Liam would try to smooth it over, and they'd all walk out like they did at the office. But they stayed, standing in Hazel's living room like it was still theirs. Noah was the first to move. He stepped further inside, slow, controlled, like he was measuring the space. You shouldn't be here alone making decisions, he said. I'm not making decisions, I replied. I'm staying in the house she left me. That's exactly the problem, he said. Emma leaned against the wall, arms crossed. You're acting like this is already yours. It is, I said. Not yet, Noah cut in. Not officially. I looked at him. The condition was fulfilled. That doesn't mean it won't be challenged. Liam finally spoke again, quieter this time. Noah, just don't escalate this. I'm not escalating anything, Noah said. I'm being realistic. He turned back to me. You exposed private matters in a public setting. That alone could be argued as coercion tied to inheritance conditions. I stared at him. So now telling the truth is a legal problem? It depends how it's framed, he said. Of course it did. Emma pushed off the wall and walked into the kitchen, opening cabinets like she was checking if anything had changed overnight. That's unbelievable, she muttered. You're already settling in like she's been gone for months. I followed her with my eyes. What do you want, Emma? She shut a cabinet harder than necessary. I want you to admit this isn't fair. Fair? I repeated. Yes, fair, she said, turning to face me. You got everything because you were willing to say things the rest of us wouldn't. That's not why she chose me. Then why? She snapped. I didn't answer immediately. Because the truth wasn't simple. It wasn't just that I showed up more. Or that I didn't ask for anything. It was something quieter than that. She trusted me, I said. Emma laughed, but it sounded strained. No. She used you. The word sat in the air. Used. Liam looked between us uneasy. That's not what this is. No, Emma said. She made her stand in a room and destroy her own family just to earn an inheritance. That's not destroying anything, I said. It was already there. You just made sure everyone saw it, Emma shot back. Silence again. Noah stepped closer, his voice calmer than before. Let's stop pretending this is about feelings. I didn't like that tone. This is about an estate that changed hands under a very specific condition, he continued. A condition that could be interpreted as undue pressure. I folded my arms. She wrote it herself. And we can question that, he said. Her state of mind. Her intent. There it was. The exact thing he planned before she even died. You're really going to do that? I asked. He held my gaze. If I have to. Liam exhaled sharply. Noah. What? Noah said. We just let this go? Walk away like nothing happened. Emma nodded immediately. He's right. I looked at both of them, then back at Noah. You're going to try to prove she didn't know what she was doing. I'm going to make sure everything is reviewed properly. That's not what this is, I said. It is from where I'm standing. From where you're standing, I said, you already tried to challenge her before she was gone. His expression didn't change. That doesn't make me wrong, he said. It makes you predictable. That hit. For a second, something slipped in his expression. Then it was gone. Liam ran a hand through his hair. This is getting out of control. No, Emma said. What's out of control is her acting like this is settled. I looked at her. What do you want me to do? Give it back. Yes, she said, without hesitation. Or at least split it. There it was. Not fairness. Control. You didn't say anything about fairness before the reading, I said. That's because we didn't know what you were going to do. I did exactly what she asked. You didn't have to, Emma said again. That line. It kept coming back. Noah stepped in, voice steady. You still have a choice. I looked at him. What kind of choice? You can cooperate, he said. Make this easier for everyone. Or. He didn't answer right away. Then he said it. Or this gets messy. The room went completely still. I felt something shift in me then. Not anger. Not fear. Just clarity. Because this wasn't about Hazel anymore. This was about what they thought they were still entitled to. I looked at Liam first. Are you part of this too? He hesitated. That was enough. I nodded slowly. Okay. Emma frowned. Okay, what? Okay, I repeated. Do whatever you think you need to do. Noah studied me. You're not concerned? I am, I said. Just not about the same things you are. He didn't like that answer. None of them did. Emma shook her head. You're really just going to sit here and let this blow up? It already did, I said. Liam looked like he wanted to say something else. Something different. But he didn't. Noah turned toward the door. We'll be in touch. Emma followed him, still shaking her head. This isn't over. I know, I said. Liam stayed a second longer. He looked around the house again, slower this time. Like he was remembering something. Then he looked at me. You think she trusted you, he said quietly. I know she did, I replied. He nodded once, but it didn't look like agreement. Then he left. The door closed behind them, and the house went quiet again. I stood there for a while, just listening to it. No voices. No tension. No pressure. Just silence. But it didn't feel calm anymore. It felt like waiting. I walked back into the kitchen and sat down at the table, the same spot I was in the night before. The letter was still in my bag. I pulled it out again, unfolded it, and read it one more time. Tell them the truth. All of it. I ran my fingers over the paper, tracing the edges of her handwriting. She knew this would happen. The pushback. The threats. The way they'd try to turn it around. She knew. And she still made it the condition. Which meant she didn't just want the truth said. She wanted to see what happened after. I folded the letter again and set it down in front of me. Then I looked around the house. At everything she left behind. And for the first time since this started, I understood something clearly. This wasn't just an inheritance. It was a line. And I had already crossed it. There was no going back now. The house got quieter after that. Not peaceful. Just empty. Like something had already been taken out of it, even though everything was still there. I stayed in Boise longer than I planned. At first it was practical. There were papers to sign, accounts to transfer, utilities to put in my name. Henry walked me through most of it, steady and neutral, like nothing about this situation was unusual. But even he started choosing his words more carefully after Noah's last comment. Challenges happen, he told me one afternoon, sitting across from me in his office. It doesn't mean they'll succeed. That doesn't sound reassuring, I said. It's not meant to be, he replied. It's meant to be honest. I appreciated that more than anything else anyone had said so far. Noah didn't wait long. 3 days later, I got the notice. Formal. Clean. Exactly what I expected from him. Request for review of the will, questioning Hazel's mental capacity at the time the condition was written. The same angle he'd already been planning before she died. It should have made me angry. It didn't. It just confirmed everything she already knew. Emma texted me that same night. You pushed this too far. I didn't respond. Because there was nothing left to say that wouldn't turn into the same argument again. Liam called once. I let it ring. After that, it stopped. No more calls. No more texts. Just silence. The kind that makes it obvious you're no longer part of something. I settled into the house slowly. Not all at once. I didn't move things around. I didn't repaint. I didn't try to make it mine too fast. I just lived in it. Used her dishes. Sat in her chair. Opened windows the same way she used to, just enough to let air in but not enough to make the curtains move too much. It felt wrong to erase her too quickly. And maybe part of me didn't want to. A week later, I met Claire Clark at the bank. She walked me through the accounts, the transfers, the details Hazel had kept. And there were a lot of details. Your aunt was very organized, Claire said, sliding a folder toward me. I opened it. Dates. Notes. Copies of transactions. Everything I said in that room? It was all there. In her handwriting. In her records. Proof that she didn't just suspect things. She knew. She kept all of this? I asked. Claire nodded. Every account tied to her name. Every outgoing payment. I flipped through the pages slowly. Liam's loan. Emma's payments. All documented. Carefully. Intentionally. She was preparing, Claire added. For what? I asked. Claire paused for a second. For this. That sat with me longer than anything else. She didn't just leave a condition. She built it. Made sure it would hold. Even if they pushed back. Even if they tried to tear it apart. The review process took time. Weeks. Noah filed everything he could. Every technical argument. Every angle. Henry responded to all of it. And through all of it, I stayed exactly where I was. In the house. Not moving. Not backing down. Waiting. Eventually, it came down to one thing. Proof. And Hazel had already handled that. The records. The letter. The timeline. It all aligned. There was no confusion about what she intended. No gaps. No room to twist it into something else. The condition wasn't vague. It was clear. Say the truth. Or lose everything. And I said it. Out loud. Exactly the way she wanted. Noah's challenge didn't go anywhere after that. Not completely. He pushed it as far as he could. But without something solid to break it, it just stalled. Then it ended. Quietly. No big moment. No final confrontation. Just a notice that the review was closed. The will stood as written. Everything transferred fully. After that, there was nothing left to fight. And that's when the silence became permanent. No calls. No holidays. No accidental check-ins. Nothing. I went back to Denver eventually. Packed up my apartment. Came back to Boise for good. Not because I had to. Because there was nothing left waiting for me anywhere else. Now I live in her house. It still smells like lavender some mornings. Not as strong as before. But enough. I kept most things the same. Not out of obligation. Just because it felt right. Sometimes I sit at the kitchen table at night, the same place I read her letter for the first time, and I think about what she actually wanted. Not just the truth. But what came after it. Because she knew. She knew they'd turn on me. She knew it wouldn't end clean. She knew I'd be the one left holding everything. The house. The money. The silence. And the question that doesn't go away. I told the truth. Exactly the way she asked. I didn't lie. I didn't exaggerate. I didn't add anything that wasn't already there. I just said it out loud. And it cost me all of them. So now I sit here, in a house that's finally mine, in a life that's stable, quiet, and completely separate from the people I grew up with. And I still don't know if that makes me right. Or just the one who was willing to go through with it. If you were in my place, would you have said it? Keep thinking about that room. The way they looked at me when I said it out loud. Like I was the one who broke something that was already cracked. And maybe I did. Because the truth didn't just expose them. It exposed what we really were. Not a family. Just people pretending to be one, as long as it was convenient. And the moment it wasn't, they chose silence. So yeah, I got the house. I got the money. But I also got the truth she wanted out. And I'm the only one still living with it.